Here's a chilly greetings in the wonderful month of December to the best family on YouTube. Well, that's our opinion here at carryorbury, our EDC family. Yes, that's right, it's carryorbury full review time, which means it's time for Needs and Nails. Now, do we strive to be the most prepared family on YouTube? Yeah, we do. So, how do we do that? Well, without further ado, why don't we start by introducing ourselves? I'm your host, Prophet, and with us, as always, is the Professor. We also have Cuz and the one and only Chaos kicking around the studio here this chilly December day. Today, we have an exciting treat. We have a full carryorbury review of the Big Idea Design Tie Utility Knife. And of course, with this, we'll be playing our full carryorbury review game. Now, about today's tool, right, if you will, or knife, or whatever you want to call it. Again, as you can see, we have the Big Idea Design LLC's Tie Utility Knife. Now, the cost for these guys at today's filming is about $175 USD on their website, okay? Little look of the back of the box here. Now, let's see what we get for that kind of money for a utility knife. So, let's get a first look for you. We've already tested and used this knife, but we want you to kind of see how you get it. When you present, you get a little thank you for your support. You get the knife that has a lanyard here at the bottom. I'm not a fan of lanyards, but for now I left it on for the review. And you get a little area here, oh my goodness, that has the tool, okay, a spare tool, and then there was a razor blade in there. I've already used that one and discarded it. It's been gone for quite some time. So that's what comes in the box. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Get you started right away, right? Okay, let's get the box out of the way and let's talk turkey. Well, I guess Thanksgiving's over. Let's talk ham, right? Let's just talk. The quick disclosure about our knife today. Well, really all other knives, EDC gear and items that we have had or will have in the future on our channel, we don't have sponsorship. So this tool or knife, this was purchased by us, tested by us, and used by us in the real world. Is this knife right for you? Is it legal for you to own or carry this knife? Well, EDC family, we're about to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. EDC family, remember, we're YouTubers. We are not lawyers. We are not people you should be getting any legal advice from. So what you need to do is find a professional. Don't know a professional? There's all kinds of wonderful things that you can do. One of those things is you can look into and know about your local knife laws. Not sure how? EDC family, it does not hurt to visit and, if at all possible, support the AKTI.org folks. They are the American Knife and Tool Institute, and they are on the front lines. They're helping us keep our freedoms and our rights, right? So why don't you check that out? Now, before we really get into this little guy here, let's wipe her down so you don't have Prophet's thumb and fingerprints all over it while it's sitting here for a second. Let's open her up for you. We'll put her right there for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to quick do a, I don't know, Prophet's pocket check. That's right. It's time to show you the flipper, or show me the flipper. Well, either way, I think you understand where we're going with this. So what was in Prophet's pocket today, EDC fam? Well, it was none other than this little baby. This is the Chris Reeve Sabenza 31. Oh yeah. It is a nice, beautiful drop point blade done in none other than MagnaCut steel. If you are not familiar with MagnaCut steel, or you would like to learn more about MagnaCut, or if you'd like to learn about any steel, what you'll want to do is you'll want to get on the interweb and you'll want to go to either YouTube or the actual Google machine, and you're going to want to go to knifesteelnerds.com. There you'll find a gentleman named Dr. Yeah, that's right, Dr. Steele, right? Dr. Laren Thomas, whom is not only the creator and inventor of MagnaCut, but he also is, like I said, a doctor of steels, and he can explain to you, or you can read about, all kinds of different attributes to the steel that you're looking for when you're making your next EDC purchase. So this guy was in my pocket today, Idaho made, right? Loved having it with me today. But I thought, you know, in the light of reviewing a titanium style knife, tool, utility knife, we're just going to call it a knife, right? A titanium utility knife, kind of new for this channel, new for me and to even use it. In spirit of our titanium EDC carrying, I also carried an EDC titanium pen around with me today. Pretty cool. Today, I actually carry this little guy here. This is the Urban EDC tie scribe bolt. This is version 1. You've seen it on the channel once or twice. We've yet to do a full review on this guy, but we will. We absolutely will. This is the version 1 full size of the tie scribe bolt. This one has the entire pocket clip that actually is the bolt. It's one of the reasons I like this one. Also, in the spirit of titanium, I carried this little gem today. Love this little guy. This is the Aurora Tie A24 mini flashlight, and it is fantastic. It's got all kinds of different levels. Again, folks, we had the Show Me the Flipper. Prophet carried the Urban EDC tie scribe bolt. This was the full size. We also carried this wonderful and beautiful Chris Reeves Sabenza 31 with Magna Cut. Pretty cool. And we also carried this wonderful little flashlight by Aurora. It's the A24 tie. Very cool little titanium flashlight, really neat emitter. Can't go wrong. All right, with the Prophet's Pocket check out of the way, welcome back, EDC family. Now, again, thank you so much for being with us today. Now, folks, again, you can go to Big Idea Design LLC's website, and that is in our description. So go ahead and take a peek if you're interested to learn more about them or this particular item. As always, after our Prophet's Pocket check, we like to dive into the name of the tool or the piece of EDC gear or the knife that we are looking at. And again, the name of this knife is the Big Ideas Design Tie Utility Knife. Well, it's pretty easy this week, right? It basically says it, right? It basically says it right here. I mean, there's no magic or fancy or meaningful name on this one. So what do we do, EDC family? I'll tell you what we do. We jump right into our first segment of 3 before the carry or bury game begins. Professor is just now popping up that knowledge is king icon, and we're going to get into a little bit of knowledge. So I thought it would be fun, instead of talking about the company or talking about, really anyone that had anything to do with the build of this particular model here, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the history of where everything came from, right? The history of the razor blade, right? So this started in about 3000 BC. Honestly, it probably even goes back further than that, but that's when we actually have archaeological digs that show brass, copper, and even 24 karat or close to gold razors, which were discovered and used. It wasn't until the late 1600s when really straight razors really started becoming popular, right? And they were more of a luxury good and status symbol even then. But in 1876, the Camp brothers really improved the safety razor by shortening the blade and adding a blade holder. Then Jacob Schick patented and made an electric razor in 1928, but there really wasn't a successful model released until 1931. And I bet you're saying, Prophet, that's talking about straight razors and electric razors. Let's talk about this type of razor. This is more Gillette's invention, and it was revolutionary at the time, right? And this was probably right around 1903. Back then, razor blades hadn't changed for a long time, so Gillette made disposable blades. And when I say it was a game changer, folks, it was a game changer. And a lot of things change after that, right? So again, 1903, Gillette invents the double-edged safety razor blade. It was patented then a year later in 1904, In 1960, the Wilkinson Sword Company introduced stainless steel razor blades. And now we have, as you can see here, ceramic blades, which is what you're seeing right here. We have serrated razor blades, which you see right here. Literally serrated. Pretty darn cool, right? They also have diamond SK2M steel diamond coated razor blades. So this has TAC, diamond coating edge, pretty darn cool. They have other stuff as well. Obviously, there's a lot of new carbon type of companies. I know I've got a ceramic one in here now, and we talked a little bit about the other options. There is also tungsten carbide coated blades, which absolutely ridiculous. You can get some really cool stuff is what I'm saying, which shows maybe why this is something that people will tend to move towards. Let's see how difficult it is during the knowledge section to take this blade out. You're supposedly able to do it one-handed. You're going to grip the knife normally. This little area here, you're going to push it down, kind of give it, oh, look at that. Blade comes right out. And again, folks, that area is right here. You can't miss it. It's this tiny little area right there. If you can see it in the video, this little area right here. Kind of cut out, if you will, right there. So let's go ahead and one thumb that and pop that ceramic blade back in for the rest of the video. That's locked in nice and tight. Love it. That is absolutely locked in, folks. Can't go wrong with that. Pretty cool. And like Carmen Sandiego game in the 90s, I hope you learned something about razor blades. And if not, I'm sure we'll hear about it in the comment section. Well, let's say goodbye to our Knowledge is King section, and let us welcome our Professor's Particulars section when it's really all about them stats, baby. So let's talk a little bit about the particulars of the tie utility knife, right? By Big Idea Design LLC. As usual, we normally talk about the blade length, but it's kind of a different situation here, right? So what we can say is that the overall length opened with a razor blade in it, a standard type razor blade like you see now, you're at about 6.2 inches or 15.75 centimeters. When we're all closed up here, what we're looking at in this area from end to end, you're looking at right around 3.8 inches or 9.6 centimeters. If we flip her around and not really think about this just hideous little thing here, from width-wise this way, we're 1.1 inch or 2.8 centimeters. Let's turn it around. The particulars, Professor's Particulars section on the other side. Oh goodness, I'm making a mess here. My goodness, sorry about that, folks. So the clip is reversible, as you can see right here. The clip length is about 2 inches or 5.3 centimeters. The weight with a normal blade inside is 3.15 ounces. Not a terribly heavy guy, right? But I digress, right? The body thickness, which you're going to see right here, is 0.39 inches or 1 centimeter. Now, if you do include the pocket clip that you see here, right where my thumb is, and you include it all this way, you're going to be at about 0.55 inches or 1.4 centimeters. I hope that was helpful for everybody. What we also like to talk about on stuff like this, though, is we'll give a little craftsmanship focus blurb from tie utility knives or Big Idea Designs tie utility knife. They are kind of renowned for their attention to detail, for their design process, and their words, not mine, they say that the tie utility knife's seamless construction and smooth deployment showcases the brand's commitment to quality. Well, so far there's no arguing here, right? So let's move on from the Professor's Particulars, and let's go through our last segment before our carryorbury game, which is our comparison plate. As you see, our little license plate will pop up somewhere in this area here, and you'll see it is time to compare what we have. Okay, our first comparison here is going to be basically a utility type knife in itself. Now this one's a little bit more dressed up than they normally are. As you can see, we have some purple Damascus on one side, and on the other side we have purple titanium, but this is still about what these cost. Maybe this is a little bit more with the Damascus, but it's a utility type knife that you would have to sharpen yourself. This is the QSP Penguin, or the Penguin by QSP. So what we're going to do is we'll clean that Damascus up, because Lord knows it gets dirty when you touch it. And we'll look at the two knives, the QSP Penguin and the Big Idea Design tie utility knife. Let's get them next to each other. This is a really close, the reason I chose the QSP Penguin is it's actually a super close fit. So you even opened, obviously the utility knife is going to be a lot less because you don't have a complete blade as you would like on the QSP. But profile wise, if we're talking about just profile, when the objects are closed, you would be hard pressed to find something, they're about the same width all around. You'd be hard pressed to find something that wouldn't be as close as this. So if you do have a QSP Penguin sitting around, and you can pick some of these up for, under 50 bucks. Not obviously with the Damascus, but you can get them at a good price. But if you have one of these, you'll kind of have a really good idea, at least closed, what this knife, utility knife, looks like, okay? I also have a Fastback by Milwaukee. This is their button lock Fastback, right? Obviously, there's no flipper on this one, but really it's one-hand operations, only done if you hold the button down and flick it out. And you do have the one button release here. I believe that's what that is. Yeah. Oh, it's got a safety. There you go. So this can be released as well, as you can see. Let's get that back in there. Oh, goodness. All right. Now, I believe these are like 10 bucks. I could be wrong on that, and I'm sure I'll hear in the comments if I am wrong. But it's a utility knife. Let's take a look open what you're getting here. The Milwaukee is a lot fatter. The balance is a lot different. Obviously, the materials are different. But size, very similar. This is going to be a little bit more slim profile, obviously. It's going to be a lot easier to open, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be easier to carry. Milwaukee obviously has a tip down carry, whereas this is going to be a tip up carry, just like a normal pocket knife would be. But you can kind of get an idea of what these guys look like. Little slim profile there. Not a bad gig. Okay, well, let's move on and let's look at another comparison. I figure just because we're talking about titanium, it's nice to always have it next to a Spyderco. I grabbed a more slimline Spyderco for our comparisons today. This is the Spyderco Sliss Bowie. And as you can see, open, you're going to get a lot more knife with the Sliss Bowie. However, you're going to have a knife that will last you forever. You can sharpen it, all that good stuff. I don't know if this knife will last forever. Let's give you a nice side profile here. Thickness, they're not very far away from each other. I would actually say, unfortunately, the Spyderco is even thinner than this guy. But this is thinner than a PM2, which is why we're using the Sliss Bowie as kind of the reference today. Okay, I don't have much more in the area for comparisons. I hope that was helpful. Let's just move on and get into our carry or bury game. Remember how we work our carry or bury game is we start with the positives. If we have 3 positives, we actually stop and move on to the negatives, which we lovingly call nails, as in nails in a coffin. Then, if there's 3 negatives, what we do is stop again, and we have a tiebreaker. If the object we're reviewing is need heavy, as you all know, what happens is we recommend to buy one, carry it, right? As long as it's within your wheelhouse, if you agree with our review. If it ends up nail heavy, we put it in a little toy coffin like this and bury it in the backyard with a 21 flipper salute. Pretty cool. So without further ado, let's jump into the game. But I will note we have a video labeled video 0020 that will give you all of the rules. It's a long form video of how our game works. Okay, let's start with our needs. You should be seeing a need somewhere on the screen, and that's because we have our first one. And I kind of went with something a little different for a need on this. I went with feel. Now, Prophet, what does feel mean? Well, feel means like it feels like a normal pocket knife, right? Now, obviously, this knife doesn't have a flipper, but let me grab one that does right off the table here. We've got an integral knife here by BRS, or Blade Running Systems. This little guy here is their Evolve Eon, and it's an integral, which means it's one solid piece of titanium. You know, it's not sitting on backspacers or anything, or standoffs. Anyways, this has a flipper, right? So when I flip this knife, it's open. It's a similar thing with this. Unlike this Milwaukee here, there's no flipper. This feels nothing like a normal pocket knife. It really does not feel like a normal pocket knife to me. Where when this is closed, it feels, it's got a lock bar. It's got a frame lock. It has got a flipper, and it is absolutely something that you can use. So it feels like a normal pocket knife, which is why I went that route. Oh, I guess I'm talking too much. As you heard, Professor put the second need up. The second need is razor type options. You can put in ceramic like we have in now. We talked about serrated, right? We talked about diamond edge. We talked about all kinds of different wonderful options. Razor blades are not that much, and you can kind of keep them around, which is great. So you have a lot of different options with this. So this knife allows you to easily swap out one-handed too. Well, one-handed, I guess not, because you have to grab the blade. Well, you can unlock it one-handed, right? And you can swap out the utility blade. You can become more versatile. You can, if you break one, you can pop another one in. It's pretty easy to keep cutting when you have something like this. I can envision someone at a cardboard, you cut a lot of cardboard at work or something like that. Something like this is ideal, absolutely ideal, especially if you don't have a knife sharpening system at home and it's not something you enjoy doing. Something like this is a really good in-between. You get the quality of an actual knife with a lot of different blade options. Now, with being said that, I know I said it was one-handed, but it's kind of not, because you got to grab it with the other hand. But that third need, I'm absolutely going with ease of blade replacement. That's what I'm doing. Oh, look it. And I'm trying to do this on camera, right? I swear, folks, it's not as hard as I think it is. The options was 2. The third need is how easy it is to replace them. I've had a lot of blades where it's not as easy to replace the blade, and having like a knife like this, it's pretty cool. All right. Number 4. That's number 4 right there. Versatility. Folks, this knife, it can handle anything because of the ability to swap this out. It's something that Grandpa wouldn't mind. It's something that your husband wouldn't mind. It's something your wife wouldn't mind. It's something that honestly, even the kids this would be something that you could hand a kid. And it's, if they're, when I say kid, I mean someone who's old enough to cut, right? Under adult supervision. But the versatility of this and who this could be for, it's for everyone, right? So quick recap. Number 1, it feels like a normal knife. Number 2, you have a lot of different cutting options with this knife, or blade options, if you will. Number 3, the ease of replacing said blades. Pretty easy. Number 4, the versatility. Remember, this knife is for anyone and can handle almost anything, right? That a normal pocket knife can. So those are the needs. Are there any nails? All right. You heard it. That there is a nail sound. The first nail is actually going to be something that's more of a bother for me, I guess. Yes, it has a flipper, right? But again, there's no thumb opening. There's no Spidey flicking this guy open. I think the lack of opening, even grabbing it and pinching it with one hand isn't doable because of where the lock bar is. I honestly, it takes quite a bit to get in there and try to get this guy out. It is very uncomfortable. The only real way to open this knife is to use the flipper. I'm not a big fan of that. I've seen a lot of of their competition have thumb studs here as well, which I think is super cool, or a button lock and a thumb stud. Or a knife that we had on the channel last week had an automatic version. You have an OTF of some of these, which I think is super cool. But the lack of one-handed opening options on this, or opening options at all, that's definitely our first nail. Oh, there's our next nail sound. I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the pocket clip on this. Yes, it's titanium. Yes, it's reversible. But you folks know we're an EDC channel first and foremost. EDC is everyday carry. The amount of force to get this into a jean pocket is absolutely ludicrous. I don't know what they were trying to do when they designed this, but it is extremely thick, extremely hard to get under. And even where it swedges, like when it kind of has that little swedge opening, getting your finger under here to try to get it going, it's a nightmare. The pocket clip idea, it's deep carry, fantastic. It's reversible, even more fantastic. All you got to do is take this little screw out here and you're in business, right? You know, but the problem is how thick it is and how getting it to actually, I mean, I just broke a nail. Literally on air, I just broke a nail trying to work this crazy thick piece of titanium. They should have put some heat to it. They should have made it more springy. There's a lot they could have done here. And to me, that's a swing and a miss. Okay. This is something that oh, there it is. I was going to go ahead and talk before that, but number 3, 100% is the accessory storage. With most Milwaukee knives, now this one doesn't have one, but this is a $10 knife, right? This is a $10 utility knife. They have a lot of them that you can pull the back out and it has room for an extra blade or two, you know, or if you're going to have something like this, maybe, I don't know, especially with a terrible pocket clip, maybe put a pouch with it, right? I wouldn't mind a pouch with something like this, or a belt pouch. And in the belt pouch, maybe you have room for, you know, some spare blades. It'd be nice, because if this breaks when you're out and about, folks, that defeats the whole darn purpose of this. So you have to actually have your pack of blades on you or near you in case you have a mishap or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. If you are going to have a replaceable blade system, you should have an idea of somewhere to put replaceable blades. That's just my 2 cents on that. Do we have a fourth one? Oh, we do. We have a fourth nail. The price. Again, we talked about this, folks. These are about $175. I did get a Father's Day coupon on this. I think I got it somewhere around $130 or something like that. But if you want one right now, they're $175. It is on the pricier side for a knife, let alone a utility knife without a, you know, really nice blade, you know, something that is going to last forever, right? So it's very pricey. That is definitely a nail, no matter how you look at it, for what you're getting. Okay, so that's 4 and 4. We did 4 and 4 again, didn't we, Professor? Holy cow, it's almost like we script these things for entertainment. Almost. At any rate, again, I digress. There it is. It's a need, and I'll tell you why. Ingenuity. I don't think I'll buy a ton of these things, but having one, and having one that feels like a pocket knife, is nice. So our 5th need is going to be ingenuity. Because of this type of thing, there is going to be someone, I don't know, G&G Hawk, I think, has one, right? But again, G&G Hawks, as nice as it is, again, it doesn't have any blade placement that I'm aware of. Someone is going to come out with either a pouch for one of these, or they're going to come out with a really unique way to store at least one extra blade somehow. I don't know how they'll do it, but I'm sure someone like, I don't know, Winterblade or G&G Hawk, or gosh, I don't know, Spyderco, somebody is going to figure out a way to do this even better. So I'm glad these are out and around, because I do think the versatility of these things are great. I think that they're marketable to a big range of other people. Is this particular one for you? I don't know. It's $175, and you know, that's not a small bit of money. It is made out of very good titanium. It does have ball bearings. It does have a very solid lockup and flipper. You know, you actually have a real lockup on it, a real frame lock. Again, I'm not a fan of the pocket clip. I'm not a fan of blade storage. You know, there's some things that aren't perfect, right? But it's a very nice tool, and it's definitely something I've gotten a lot of use from already. I will say that. So is it for you? I don't know, but we would recommend that even if you don't buy this one, you should pick one of these up, EDC family. You might be impressed. And you can always get all kinds of razor blades off of Amazon's website. So there's all kinds of options for you in that route. Now, remember, always be mindful of your local knife laws and regulations. Support organizations that advocate for our rights. Also, you can follow us on social media. All you have to do is type in @carryorbury. It's all one word. And folks, with the holidays coming up, I don't know if you know anybody that might want one of these, right? But we've got stickers, we've got cards, we've got lanyards, and you know that we have microfibers, both big and small. Just shoot us an email. Ask us for something. We'll send it out to you. We love you guys. That's why we are the EDC family, right? And that's why if we continue to grow, we're making a lot of noise, aren't we? And folks, that's why if we continue to grow, which is kind of what we want to do, right? You will be the most prepared family on YouTube. All right, EDC family, keep those blades or razors sharp. Keep those flashlights or torches charged. And again, if you're anything like lovely old Prophet, keep those Band-Aids close. Remember, you are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout. May God bless you. See you next time. And let's see if we have some more holiday fun for you folks here at Carrier Bury. What's next? You are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout. Now, without further ado, one more thing before we go. I know we say holidays and all that stuff, but to us here at Carrier Bury, it's Christmas time. So may God bless all of you. And let's light the EDC tree here at Carrier Bury that we will light together. We have our little pocket tree here. Not a huge deal, right? And we've got our little wrapped 9-volt battery. Not a huge deal. This is everyday carry stuff, right, folks? And there it is. There is the @carryorbury lighting of the Christmas tree. And we got to light that together. Do you want me to sing it with you? Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, prophet sings like a banshee. Actually, we rap here at Carrier Bury. What am I talking about, right? Oh, Christmas tree, I see your LEDs bright and shiny. I want to put you on the mat so all can see. That's right, when I say all, I mean you, the EDC family. You know, EDC family, it's not a secret that I like to rap. What I don't know how to do is make a beat. If any of you would help me make a beat or put me in the right direction of someone that can do so for me, we can make together our first @Carrier Bury rap. That'd be a good Christmas present for old Prophet here. And I know actually Professor would like that as well. Now, until next time, EDC family, keep those blades or razors sharp, okay? Keep those flashlights charged. And if you're anything like me, keep those Band-Aids close. Remember, you are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout, EDC family. You are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout. May God bless you. See you next time.